all that being said, what do we do about it? Because that's why you're here. So I'm going to run through these really quickly, but then in the next few slides, I'm going to go in depth more of some examples. So phone apps, if you do have children and families that have access to devices, phone apps are a great resource. There's a lot of free ones out there. They're easy. It's very much meeting the kids where they're at. Same with the memes and hashtags. Incorporating them into your lessons is a really great way to just kind of relate to them. There's free meme generator apps. You could always make an activity creating a meme. Be Kind to Your Mind is also a big mental health campaign where it's just think of ways that you can be good to your brain. You know, we're talking a lot about being good to our bodies, but let's talk about what's up here. Check-ins. That's a great way to just, what's going on? Group pulse. Give me one word that describes how you're feeling right now. That's a very easy way to introduce and get your class kind of engaging. And again, that positive reframing, not what's wrong with you, what happened to you, ask how they're doing as opposed to what they're doing. Ask how they're doing before you ask if they completed the assignment or not, things like that. And that brings it back to that stats versus story model. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is not necessarily just the meditation aspect. There's a lot of ways to introduce mindfulness that are more digestible for even younger kids. You can do mindfulness activities where they're eating a piece of candy and you talk about the sensory experience, and it's all about just kind of grounding yourself and being present. So that's a very common misconception that I know I recently fell into that trap as well. Journal prompts, another free, easy way to introduce SEL. And of course, connection to mental health resources, hotlines, mental health providers, and opportunities to interact remotely with their peers and with their staff. So again, this stuff is more important than ever. It always was important. But while we are here kind of dealing with this crisis and working remotely, this is a good way to kind of subtly start incorporating it so that when we are able to engage normally again in the physical setting of a building, it's kind of just part of the classroom. And it's a really great time to introduce it. So I'm going to run through a few examples here. So bear with me as I do some screen switching. So I'll start with these. So these are all free apps, and they're highlighted as really engaging for kids. That's not to say they're not also good for adults, but these are specifically mentioned as very user-friendly for kids. So I'm going to just switch over. So Super Better is the first one I'm going to show you. I'm a big fan of it because it was actually designed by video game experts. So there's definitely elements that are very appealing to kids. And it just starts off with you pick one. So again, it even gives kids the choice of what can I do as opposed to just telling them what to do. So let's say we did make your hands into fists, raise them over your head highs for 5 seconds. I did it. And then it gives you even just a little blurb. I won't play the video, but it does a little explanation. And it also offers a transcript that they can go over as well if you're doing it with, if the family's doing it or you're doing it with them, or they can do it independently. So it does a brief example of, okay, why the heck did I do that? Because kids always want to know why. So again, Super Better is one of my favorites, and it's great for all ages. The next one I'm going to look at is Headspace. So Headspace is a big one, and it's very user-friendly. So I'm just going to go to the home page here, and they are doing free trials right now. So they do a breakdown of you can do basics, introductions to mindfulness. Maybe my screen will cooperate. Let's see. You can do group exercises. They talk about reframing. There's different packs. So a pack means that you can do one after the other and they all play off each other. So they're kind of like they're sequential. You can do individual ones, and they all have very specific themes. So they've got minis, and all the ones that are highlighted are the ones that are available for free right now. And they also offer for different ages. So they have kid ones. Whoops. Pretty much every need you could think of, they have pre-sleep, they have post-sleep, they've got happiness, they've got work, they've got one specific for students, they've got them for kids. They also have animations, which are really cute. See if I can, yeah. So the animations page is great because it just kind of, especially for younger kids, it just makes it a little bit more appealing. So I'm a big advocate of Headspace. It's very user-friendly. It's very easy to navigate. And again, it is free. And it's my understanding, based on my research, that these are all also offered in multiple languages. So that's a big one too. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
go over
Victoria, I
next.
was just going to ask you, because in the chat we had some questions about if you knew if the websites were available. And some of them I haven't tested it out, but if you download the Google Translate extension, you can kind of see before you share it with your students, see if it works with that website.
Yes, as far as I'm aware, I looked up most of them and they are offered in multiple languages. And I will have the slide after this will actually have resources that are specific for Spanish speaking. So again, journal prompts, a lot of teachers start with do nows, things like that. A journal prompt is a really user-friendly way to just get them thinking and writing about things that are more connected to social emotional learning. Something as simple as, what are you good at? What's something that is a unique quality about you that makes you special? And again, that can be adjusted to be any language, and it's just a way to get them thinking. Next, we have art projects. Where are you? Here we go. So there's a lot of websites like this one. I really just typed in free ways to incorporate social emotional learning. Obviously, some of these are more conducive to the physical classroom setting. But one of the things that I really like on this one is perspective taking read aloud. So anytime they're reading a story, you could offer a prompt where you offer, okay, what was this character thinking? What would it be like if you were this character? That's teaching empathy, that's teaching compassion. So there's a lot of websites like this that are very user-friendly, offered in multiple languages, and they're free. And they really can help you get those ideas going. And again, I know this will be sent to you guys, so all this will be available to you. So there are apps that are offered in Spanish besides the ones that I showed you on the other page. This is specific to Spanish-speaking families. And here these are all links to mindfulness prompts and activities that are only in Spanish. Another activity I really liked is, as an example, is this COVID time capsule. They offer printable versions online. So this is an example of the one in Spanish. And this is a great way to just get the kids doing an activity, thinking about themselves, thinking about their families during this time. And this website also includes other time capsules in Spanish and English. And it includes ones for kids. And it also includes them for adults. And they also have free bonus pages. And these are all printable. And they also have versions that are available for typing, which is great because a lot of people don't have access to printers, myself included. And last but not least, so Therapist Aid, I won't maximize this page because I'm going to go to the next tab. It has the word therapist in it, but it is definitely not solely for therapists at all. I think it's a fantastic educational tool as well. And one of the things I really like about it is you can filter it to exactly your needs. So it's based on, you start with the age group you want to engage with. You can filter by topic. There's really, go away. There's guides, there's videos, there's articles, there's worksheets. It's all free. And what's great about Therapist Aid is that you can customize your own worksheets if you want. So you say you have an idea and you want to make it more personal to your work, you can. And you can also upload Spanish versions as well. I think most of the sheets I've come across, they have an option to look up a Spanish version of the worksheet. So that's a great tool as well. And I'm a huge fan of that. I've been, frazzled and had a long day at work and had no time to prepare for a group or a session. And I've gone on Therapist Aid, Googled exactly what I wanted, and been able to use it as a foundation for whatever I was doing. So again, it's really great for quick and easy, and very importantly, free. And it offers a lot for education and for social emotional learning as well. Just some quick tips, but you guys are really the experts on engaging with your students. It's always helpful to clarify, what did you mean by that? That kind of falls under the what happened as opposed to what's wrong. The what's wrong kind of backs them into a corner and kind of creates like a shaming climate. That's not good for anybody. And it peels back the layers. Modeling, again, you guys know this, you're role models to the kids. Everything you do is taken in and absorbed. So it's always helpful to model the empathy and listening and clarifying. Really put yourself in their shoes the best way you can. They notice, kids are sponges. They notice everything, the good and the bad and everything in between. I know positivity sounds obvious, but it can be something as simple as that, as the positive reframing. And that's what this is, the what's wrong versus what happened. A simple positive adjustment like that can really make a significant difference in the function of your classroom. I think joining them is really helpful. Joining them in the journal prompts, joining them in an activity. I think that also falls under the modeling, but it also kind of gives them permission to maybe be a little bit more vulnerable than they're comfortable. When you're rolling out new things, it's always kind of helpful to do it with them. The example I always think of is when I was growing up and doing sports, it always meant a lot to me when the coaches would try and do the drills that they were barking at us to do. So again, it's vulnerability can kind of be perceived through these things, but being empathetic, being compassionate, it's not vulnerability, it's really strength. And that's what we want to really enforce to our kids. So we're doing a lot of talk about our students, but we all need a little self-care too. So it's really important to, before you're rolling out any of these things, to kind of do that check-in with yourself. Am I doing this? Am I feeling self-aware? Am I feeling aware of others? Am I empathizing as best as I can? Because it's, you can't drain the battery if it's not charged already. So just make sure that you are doing what you can to tend to yourself. We're all going through a crisis right now, and that's not to be taken lightly. And the work that we do is important and draining on a perfect day. So right now we're really kind of gritting through it. So it's imperative that we are taking care of ourselves. And that's when programs like the Employee Assistance Program are important. It provides support to employees, students, and their families in an effort to maximize overall wellness. And that really falls under the whole social emotional learning thing. It's learning improves when we help people develop skills, manage life tasks, form relationships. This is a video right here that the EAP of Eastern Suffolk BOCES put out. And it actually specifically talks about how this virus is impacting educational stakeholders, and offers tips and resources for them as well. And the contact info is right down here. And most importantly, I hope everyone's healthy and hopefully you got something out of this. And that's it.
Thank you, Victoria. Yeah, thank you for all of the great resources. Many of the in the chat, I'm just looking through to see if there were any other questions. Someone
Yeah, let
asked
me
to
know.
go back one slide. Teresa, if you want to come off mute and just ask which slide was it, the EAP information?
Yes, exactly. The resources that was provided for educators, please.
Sure.
Can you
Thank
show
you.
that one again?
I gotcha. Just give me one sec.
And thank
And
you.
what I'll do is I'll catch the email and the phone number, and I'll put it in the chat for all of us too. So Victoria is showing you the EAP contact information for Eastern Suffolk BOCES. So it's Dr. Michael Miles at esboces.org. I'll put that in there. And the phone number is 631, right? 289
289-0480.
Okay. And that's for Eastern Suffolk BOCES employees and families, and also Western Suffolk BOCES. And in a moment, I will display the contact information for the Nassau Suffolk EAP program as well. So, and if you have any other questions for Victoria, Victoria, is it all right if I put your email address in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it the Arthur?
Yes, ARTHUR.
ARTHUR, yep, at esboces.org.